We are conducting workshops on the subjects that will help the industry members in enhancing their knowledge and day-to-day operational skill. I'm happy to let you know that the response has been very positive. This is the fifth workshop we are conducting. First workshop was on leasing and zoning in shopping malls conducted by Rajneesh Mahajan. The second workshop was conducted by Yogeshwar Sharma. The subject was marketing in shopping malls. Third workshop subject was the psychology of shopping and its impact on shopping malls. Mr. V. Mohammed, he conducted this workshop. Fourth workshop was conducted by Mr. Najib Kunil, he is CEO PPZ, and the subject was how to increase ancillary income in shopping malls. The subject of today's workshop is how to engage the new age customers in your mall. Manoj Agrawal is conducting this workshop. He is an industry professional with over 35 years of hospitality and mall experience. He is the MD and founder of Manoj K. Agrawal Consultant Partner, which offers advisory services for shopping malls across various geographies and micro markets. He has done hotel management from IHM Pusa Road in Delhi and has undergone many professionally enriching programs organized by University of Michigan, Cornell, ICSC, CII, IGBC, and IHG. Is a well-experienced person. My viewers, you can post your questions. If something is coming to your mind, please post your questions and Manoj shall be answering at the end of the session. So now over to Manoj. Manoj, you are welcome and please start this today's session.
Hi, this is Manoj. It's really a pleasure to be amongst all of you. While we wait, I just wanted to basically talk a little on what this workshop is about. So this workshop is, as we all know, that customers are key, especially in today's time with a lot of competition across various channels, across various malls, across various geographies. So this is the idea is how we can use customer engagement as a tool and as a strategy, as a thought process to be able to drive customers, footfalls, business, and have a happy community around us. It's basically intended for that. And there is no format, there's no presentation that I'm doing. I thought we'll keep it completely interactive. Otherwise, in my humble view, what happens is that, we tend to talk more on the presentation and we see more of the presentation and we tend to not at times connect with what is spoken. So being completely interactive, I hope that we are both able to, concentrate on what each other is saying, and we will be able to then interact and suitably, find our way forward on this strategy of customer engagement. Okay, so we will just wait for maybe another 3-4 minutes, and then we'll start at 3:10. So I see some messages coming. So thank you, Praveen. Thank you, Yashika. So I see Praveen from Palladium. And there is somebody from Lakeshore, Juvaker. I'm not sure of your first name. Then there is Sachin from Phoenix. Then there's a Redmi saying hi to everyone. Obviously, it's displayed as the name of the thing. Then there's M. Patel from Lakeshore. Hi, Anup. You're from Pune. We have Manisha also from Pune. Then Anirudh is the age of Juvaker we were talking about. Then we have Sunil Dwivedi from Aparna Malls. And we have Madhur from the Tapadia City Center in Amravati. So a good mix of people. So can we just have few messages very quickly on what are your expectations from this workshop that we have? We have Satin also from Capital Mall Lakeshore. Good. Welcome, Satin. Mudassar from Palladium. Excellent. So just quickly before we get on to the seminar itself, there's some Joseph from PPZ. Welcome, Joseph. And we have Sarabjit from DB Mall, Priyanka from DB City Mall. Good. So we have a good mix from, I would say, central India to the west, and some in the north and some in the south. So we have a healthy representation across the regions of our great nation. Okay. Any expectations, please, before we get into the seminar itself, the workshop itself? So just to let you know, the chat box is something which I gauge to see how much I'm going across to people, and whether people are actually clued into what is happening online. So if you could respond with some expectation, just a brief few words. I don't want a very long message. So we have 1 minute to go before we start our workshop. So any expectation very quickly, otherwise we'll commence shortly. Okay, we are talking of how to decide what type of event to plan. So we will cover engagement strategies. When we are in some of these strategies at that stage, Sunil, I would request you if we can just, talk at that time. And the chat box is one part, but I would also encourage, if you have questions, if you have any specific point on which you need questions, then you can let me. Okay. So Satyan Ashar is saying, look forward how to enhance customer experience as a mall. Yes. So, okay, now so I just want to know that enhancing the customer experience or being customer centric, what does it actually lead to? What is the key objective? So Satyan and Mr. Redmi, if you can just tell me. Yes, a quick response, please. Okay, so we are waiting for Satyan, Ashar and Redmi to respond. Okay, so Satyan has responded to have customer coming back to us on a regular basis. Very true. But we are still, I think the course topic itself talks of that, in the workshop, what we are going to cover and how it will help us market ourselves, improve our, business and so on and so forth. Okay. What I'm going to do is, I'm just going to request, I don't know in what spaces you are. I'm of course right now in my workspace at home. So I'm just going to play a short video. You ignore the graphics there. Just concentrate on what. So I'm sharing that part, and this is just a musical clip. So you don't concentrate on what the screen is showing. I would just request all the participants to just get up and just dance along with me. So the music is on. Come on, guys. Please have your videos on. Okay, I request everyone to get up. Okay, I'm going there. Come on. Can we all do this? Your people in office will wonder what's happening. Why suddenly all my colleagues, bosses, and people are kind of moving in their chairs. You can jive from your chair. It's okay. Come on. Just for a few seconds. Yes, is everybody on there? So is everybody there? Are you participating with me? Okay, just for a couple of minutes. Okay, go on. Come on, guys. Switch on your videos, please. Little faster now. Come on. Okay. Okay. Music not audible. I'm sorry, then we have to do a dry run of jiving. That's okay. So tell me, what was the objective of what we were just doing? Right now, we, did a small activity. Unfortunately, music did not go the way we expected it. So tell me, what was the objective on this? I now need you to go back to the chat box, please. Yeah. Ignore the music for now. Now tell me what was the idea behind this? Yes, that's true. Redmi, I don't have your name, so I have to call you as Redmi. Okay, voice is low, that's fine. Yes. I think a round of applause for Sunil. He has actually got the answer right, that we were actually trying to get ourselves to be engaged, have a good attention, and feel energetic before we start on this workshop. Very right. So good. I'm connecting with some of you, and I'm sure the others who have not responded are also very much there. Okay, so tell me, what is this customer engagement? What does it mean? I need now, is the voice enabled, Sunil, for everyone?
The voice factor is an issue over here.
Okay, it's not enabled?
Yes.
Okay, in that case, then I would just request everyone to tap here. What is this? What is engagement all about? Come on, guys, tell me. I'm not able to see any responses. You'll have to be a little quicker than that. Yeah. Keep customers busy, okay? Engagement involving customers in all activations, correct? Engrossed, yes. Okay, go ahead. I only see a couple of people responding. The rest are as yet looking forward to something which so far we have not talked of, right? Okay, is it better now? Okay, thanks, Mangesh. Yes, so I'm getting a few responses now. Okay, so yeah, so all of you are right. So what is customer engagement? Customer engagement is a tool by which we do the cultivation of a relationship and engagement with our customers so that the company and the shopper, they go far beyond not only the transaction, which is a purchase, but they also, establish a connect with each other so as to be able to, understand each other. So they understand the mall, what it stands for, its brands, what are its values, what are its offering, and the mall in turn also understands the customers. So it's like a, it's like a partnership which is based on engagement. So what do you think happens when the customers are engaged? You have mentioned some of those, but specifically when there's an engagement, does it only cover the, the purchase part? Does it go beyond that? Yes, so yeah, those are the objectives which some people have mentioned, that, spend more time in mall, increase dwell time, ensure they patronize the mall, and they have a good experience in the mall. Yes, so what happens is, like, if we see here, there is something which we talk in marketing parlance as a brand promise. So there's a brand which is the mall. So let's say a Lakeshore Mall, or a Phoenix Mall, or a DB Mall, or an Aparna mall. Now these are the malls which are like mall brands. And then you have a promise made by these brands. Any guesses on what these promises can be? So I need this response since the voice part is not there. So I just need you to talk of, what happens when the customers are engaged and what is this brand promise that we are talking. So what is a brand promise? Any examples? Yeah, that's true. But what is this brand promise? Okay, I'll tell you what the brand promise is. How much of you have heard of, the group which is one of the most famous in amongst all business houses in India called Tatas, right? Have you heard of Tatas? Okay. Now, what do you think very quickly when we talk, okay, this is a Tata brand, this is a Tata product, this is a Tata company, this is a Tata, maybe this is the Tata management. What immediately comes to our mind? Yes, trust, brand, assurance, customer service, trust. Yes, absolutely right. Yes, those are the products, car, trucks, free coffee, experience, trusted brand, trust. Now, how did this happen? So this is the brand promise, For example, if you say salt and you say Tata salt, then you say Tata ka salt hai, it'll be very nice. And, we should buy it because, Tata would give the correct product. And, they will not try to, do any other adulteration. They will not try to, whatever is the namak all about, they will make sure that wohi namak jo hai is selling. Now, this is the Tata thing that the moment, yes, so Vishal has very rightly said, bouquet of services, experience and belonging that comes with the product. Correct. So what happens is the brand promise is on one side is of reliability, trust, assurance, and it offers you a certain type of experience, a certain imagery, a certain perception. Right? Now, if that is true for Tata, what we just discussed, what do you think are the values that a mall stands for, or one would like our mall to stand for? Let's have quickly some inputs on that in the chat box. What would you like your mall establishment as representing? We'll have to be specific. Yadav, lifestyle is too generic. Yes, delightful experience can be. Hygiene, consistency. Consistency of what? Yes, there's Segal who's saying best shopping destination in this. So these are statements. I'm looking at something specific. Like we talked of Tata, then we said reliability, trust, bouquet of services, consistency, reliability, a positive image, and so on. So what do you think would be something which our mall you should want people to see? Yes, safe spaces, safe environment, safe and clean shopping, community center. Correct. Now, all these inputs that we are giving, the world-class environment, absolutely right. So what happens is that when somebody talks, let's talk instead of talking of one mall, because all of you are in excellent malls delivering excellent experiences. So I'll not name one. Let us just talk it as the superstar mall for talking sake. So the superstar mall would like what? It would like that it's perceived as a place to go, as a happening place. It is perceived as a place where you are safe and secure, where you experience from the time you approach the mall up to the time you are in the mall till the time you exit, you have a good consistent experience, right? Is that true what I'm saying? Okay, so Satyan endorses Sunil, Redmi, Sonal. Okay, great. So along with this, what we would like is that this is more of, the design element or more of the physical element. Side by side, we would also like that our people, As somebody has said in the past, no organization is an organization unless it is infused with physical people like all of us into those spaces. Otherwise, they are just structures. So who breathes life into these structures? It is the people. So in customer engagement, apart from the amenities, apart from the services, apart from the infrastructure, the brand mix and other things which are provided, one thing which is very key is that the people who are there, I'm talking of here the mall team and the people who are at the line level and through your outsource agencies or whatever, the housekeeping, the security, maintenance, so on. So now how these people are and how they interact with the customer, that actually determines the success of what your mall or what your mall stands for, right? You may say that, okay, I want to be, very customer friendly and, we want to have very good responses from all our customers. But is it actually happening like that? Because that depends on the people who are actually there. So how the person on the info desk engages and talks to the customer who's there, how the housekeeping, security, maintenance and other floor staff, how they react and behave and interact with the customers. What is their actual output? Are the washrooms dry and clean, fresh, with a fresh, nice, comfortable odor there? And, the food court is neat and clean, people are attentive. And are the floors clean? Are all the retail stores looking inviting? Is the ambience like air conditioning and all this there? Now, some of this is by the system or the design, and some of this is by the actual people. Now, the same thing is, what would you say if you had a mall where you had a very neat and clean mall with very good friendly staff, but the retail store was somewhat different? That means that the experience there was not matching the mall. Then what would you say? What would happen? I need that in the chat box, please. So if the mall is providing a very good service, it has good people, good ambience and that, but the stores, which are the stores where actually shopping happens, it is not in keeping with that mall, what will happen? Yes, losing customers, experience would not be good, buying will not happen. Absolutely right. So what this means is that this engagement is not restricted. Bad customer says, yes, all these responses are right. So what happens is that this experience which we are offering is not only important inside the mall space or the common areas or the parking, it's also equally important that the same experience is carried forward into the retail store. So we'll discuss this a little. So now I hope we have got a little understanding on what customer engagement means. Are you guys with me? Excellent. So I'm getting responses. So I'm glad that you are clued into what we are doing. Okay. Now I want to know that is customer engagement and customer satisfaction, is it the same? Quick couple of replies. Okay, 3, 4, 5 people are saying no, it is different. So what is the difference? So what is the difference? Anyone can answer. All of you have mentioned correct that it is not the same. So anyone can just answer on behalf of the group. To an extent, yes. But what happens is, let me just elaborate here, just to clarify on this. The customer engagement is about interaction with the customer in a positive way. So providing services to the customer that they want, giving communications to them that they want, whether it's on social media or on one-to-one, addressing their issues. Now, once this engagement happens properly, it leads to satisfaction. Which means that if the engagement is not proper, there will be no satisfaction. Are you with me on this? So the satisfaction is like an outcome, and engagement is the route to this outcome, positive outcome, right? So we must keep in mind that when we talk of customer engagement, we are trying to engage with them. When we say we are trying to engage with them, it's like, it's literally like you see in a marriage situation, or when, people get engaged to each other. What does that mean? That basically they exchange the rings and now they are committed to each other. In marriage, they are committed to each other as persons, as family. In a mall, the mall is committed to the customers, and they want to make sure that the brand promise that is there, that is delivered to the customer, so that we have happy customers. If we have happy customers, they'll visit the mall again. They'll make the mall a habit. They will give good references. And overall, over a period of time, market image, business, turnover, and so on and so forth will go. Now, as we mentioned in the past, if the consistent experience between the mall and the stores is not there, ultimately both will lose. The retailers will also lose and the mall will also lose. They may lose in a high degree or a low degree. That will depend on the mismatch which is there in the surface. Are you with me on this? Okay, so now the last part on a little bit on the definition or setting the context. What is customer engagement? In what bucket will you put it? Customer engagement, you will put it in what bucket? So one bucket could be satisfaction. Another bucket could be customer connect. Third could be involvement of the customer with what is happening in the mall and its stores. Which bucket will you put it in? Customer connect, okay. Anybody else? There are many people in, we have about 35 odd people, but I only find a few familiar names there. So can I request the others to also, if they are busy in the office, I would just request that for the next 30-40 minutes, if you can be focused here. Yes, involvement, experience, satisfaction, customer connect, correct. Now what happens is that this is the bucket. I deliberately missed it out. I wanted to see if you'll say. So this is a bucket of what is a marketing strategy. What is the marketing strategy based on? Based on customer engagement, which means that the messaging which goes to the customer and the service which goes to the customer, that is customized, that is relevant, and is to the expectation of the customer, so that it leads to satisfaction and hence growth of business. Are you with me on this? Okay, now tell me, in a mall, if you want to have an engagement and you want visits of the customer and you want them to be involved with what the mall is doing, then in that case, what should we do in today's world of social media? What could be one strategy which we could do so that, the mall becomes people friendly from a social media angle? Any idea, any guesses? Yeah, so I think Asher from Lakeshore has mentioned Insta Reels involving customers, right? So what happens here is, how many, I presume that all 35 of you and 3 of us here from SCAI's side, I assume that all 40 odd of us are on social media. Yes or no? Quickly, show of hands. Only 4, 5, 6. So the rest are not on social media. Fine. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So out of 35, only 14 people, 15 people now are on social media. The rest do not care about social media. Is that true? I don't think so. Okay, now we have got some more responses. Okay, so any more responses very quickly? Okay, so I'm getting a lot of yeses, so I'm presuming that these yeses represent the larger group. Now, if everyone is so much onto social media, and I presume that in today's time, most people are on Instagram, is that correct? So now with this knowledge that everyone loves their Instagrams and their posts and the reels and following people and seeing what the others are posting, what they are adding to their story. In that case, how can you use this information if you are going to, if you're going to do something in the mall which helps you leverage this patronage of Instagram by all the visitors who are coming to the mall, the shoppers? How will you use this? Any guess? Only two answers, please. Invite, flow, influence. No, that is one. Yes, that's a different way. I'm saying in the mall space right now, don't go onto the virtual space. In the mall space, what can you do? So we're armed with the knowledge that everyone is on Instagram. Okay. So we have some suggestions. So what I would say here is that since everyone is on Instagram, yes, so all these are suggestions, which is fine. Now we are talking again here of social space, so gifting, Wi-Fi service, social media, advertise mall events. These are all tactics which we do online. In the mall, what happens today is now, how many of you have heard of Gen Y and Gen Z? These are all the youngsters, right? Yeah, these are all generations, but they are relatively the younger set of shoppers and clients, right? And today with Instagram, in fact, all the people of my generation, some years senior to me, some years junior to me, age-wise, they are all on Instagram. So now what happens is that particularly with the youngsters, if you can give them what is known as Instagrammable content. What is Instagrammable content? Yeah, so absolutely right. So Sehgal from Lakeshore has mentioned absolutely right. So what happens is that if you are able to provide certain engagement opportunities, for example, an Instagrammable photo op, for Instagrammable wall inside the store. For example, I was seeing a presentation the other day when I attended the Digital convention. I was kindly enough nominated to be the jury. So I saw retail presentation. So inside the retail store, some of the brands very effectively had created Instagrammable walls, which means the wall had certain content in terms of lighting, vibrancy, and so on and so forth, which led to people coming there just to experience the wall. And it also helped because it was interactive. So you could change the background, you could get some information. At the same time, you could set up a graphic, and then you could click against that and you could post on the social media, particularly Instagram and so on, right? And if you have dynamic content, then you can even take a short reel or whatever, and you can talk, okay, I was at the Star Mall, and I went to this store and all that. So all that happened. So first thing what I would say is, which is possible, is to make sure, which some malls are doing, but not in a very, I would say, organized manner, that you need to create certain photo ops and certain spaces which are Instagrammable by nature. Do you agree with that? Do you think it will help in inviting the youngsters? Okay, so some respondents are saying yes, very good. Okay, good, very good. Now what happens is, once you have this Instagrammable wall, you have certain links, you are essentially inviting people to come to the mall to experience these features inside the store and inside the mall, right? And if you are able to create something which is unique, if you are also able to brand it a bit, with the logo of the mall or something showing, then the Star Mall is suddenly going to become even more popular amongst the youngsters, that you go there, you get an opportunity to create posts, because everyone today is, what you say, content hungry to post on social media. It's, every time you can't do selfies, you can't post restaurants or high streets or when you're driving in a car or, all that stuff. So you want something which is much closer to home, much closer to the place you're going, so you can do that, right? Now, side by side, also what happens is that since we have different age groups, and I would say the youngsters have a different level of patronage, the middle, let's say people who are just married to people who are having their first children, they have a different requirement, and the older people to that have a different requirement. So if we can provide certain content which engages all the different age groups without overdoing it, without crowding the mall, and without making it a visual clutter, if you are able to make 2-3 such zones across, then what happens is there is relevant content for everyone. And if that content keeps on changing every few weeks, then it becomes an additional thing. So people know if we go, we don't know what opportunity we'll get to, post on Instagram. So that becomes an engagement factor. Same thing, it happens, in yesteryears, for people who have worked in restaurants and hotels, there used to be a time when it was very much in that suddenly in the rush of things, some of the staff members would just go and suddenly they would break into a small dance. So then what would happen is that people would just go to see the dance and visit the place because they did not want to miss that small performance. And that time when the mobiles, etc. had grown, they would take a small clip and they would share it around with everyone. That time social media was very limited. So the concept is same. Things have evolved into today's time where everything is available on your phone and all this is instant. So that is what is one major strategy which you can use to have people coming in again and again across the age groups. The other part is how much do you think convenience as a thing is also customer engaging? That means if you offer convenience to customers, it also needs to enhance customer experience. Do you agree with that? Okay, I'm going to ask, I saw Sujata from Brookfield, I think. Sujata, why do you say that? I'm just picking on Sujata because I saw her message first. So why do you say that, Sujata? Okay, I think Sujata is taking a little time. So what happens is that why convenience is important, because this is where, we talked of experience. So an enhanced experience, a convenient experience leads to satisfaction. So the engagement is from the time, okay, Sujata has responded, smoother customer and sense of belonging will go more. Absolutely right. But here what happens is that, see, once we have set up a large establishment like a mall, and we've invested, or the promoters have invested, and the people working there have invested a lot of time. Now you are doing this for what? You are doing this to make sure at the end of the day you have an experience, part of which is customer engagement. So you have an experience which is convenient, customer friendly, and memorable to that extent, so that you have satisfied customers who also pass on information around. So that's how it flows, right? Okay, we'll not spend more time on this because this is kind of self-explanatory and we have some time to cover. So why do you think a customer engagement strategy will work? Why will it work as compared to just doing marketing or some promotions and all? Why would customer engagement as a strategy work? Just quick responses on this. Okay, looks like people Okay, Amit has responded on to accessibility includes non-customer retention. Absolutely right. So customer marketing, I'm saying brand recall, absolutely. So what happens is that customer experience starts, as I mentioned a little while back, it starts from the time the person actually views your mall on a website or on an app or on a social media page. The experience in a way is starting from there, and then the relevance of that content, the relevance of that post, the relevance of the experience of the website and the mobile. From the planned visit to the entry, to parking, to reaching the mall floors, then navigating around the mall, whether you are traveling along the corridors or you are going up the various levels. All this leads to this all is an opportunity to have customer engagement. So much like a hotel where all of you would have stayed at some time or the other, you will know that the time you book, so how convenient was the booking for that room, to the time you actually, to locating that exact location if you're going there for the first time. And then thereon, entry, how the bags were picked up, how quick was your check-in, how was your room, was it as per what was committed on the website, and then all the services which follow. On the same way, if all the people, so from a parking attendant to security to housekeeping staff to the mall management staff to the retail staff, food court staff, the washrooms and facilities, all of them, all these I call as touch points. This is where the customer is going and visiting. If all these touch points combine together, deliver a certain experience and make sure that customer is positively engaged in all these areas as per the customer's requirements. So now you have an experience which leads to satisfaction. So that is why convenience is very important. Okay, let me just talk here that how can design contribute to customer convenience and has to customer engagement. Let's see the mall design, which goes right in the beginning before at the time when mall is being conceptualized and the architect is there. How does at that stage, how can we have engagement and design elements which lead to convenience? Very quickly, improved circulation, absolutely right. Entry, parking, vertical transport, ease of navigation, right? Go ahead, more responses. Placement of branding, location of elevators, escalators, yes. Absolutely. Ease of parking, zoning, customer immunity, VX. So I would say that all people who are responding to this are absolutely right, because once the mall is constructed, a retrofit to improve certain areas or to create certain elements becomes a problem. So let me just throw a few points which are mentioned, but I'll just give it in a different way. Now what happens is that we have different stakeholders, right? We have the staff, we have the retailers, we have the mall team, and obviously we have the shoppers, and then we have vendors and others. So if the design provides convenience to each set, so to the retail staff, a convenient entry in, a short route to their store, so that means you need to have maybe multiple entries across, then a proper access and parking, and information which comes to them when the store gets onboarded, the staff gets onboarded. Not this leads to convenience. Now, if the retailers are also made aware of what are the mall's processes and systems, I know some of the retailers tend to take that part lightly, but I'm saying if you were to make them aware and you have to have a proper introduction to the mall, it helps in creating a flavor of convenience to the customer, to the staff, and from the staff also to the customers. Now let's talk of, for example, now washrooms. Now in today's time, it is known for everyone that we have very large malls with large floor plates. So if you go across the country, if you see 1 million square feet is virtually coming up in all kind of locations in all kinds of geographies, barring only the smaller spaces which are as yet not ready for large nodes. So now if in that, for example, a washroom, now let us say you have a floor plate of, let's say, approximately 2.5 lakh square feet. But the washrooms are only one and in one corner. And by the way, there are malls like this today. Even though they are large, they have some of these challenges. So first, if you have to go, you have to walk literally a mile. And then you find at the end of it that the washroom is far and then it is also not well maintained. So then you had it. Then, certain placements of stores, navigating to various stores in the mall. There are some malls which follow a zoning possibility. Some follow a zoning kind of a theme and they have various sections streamlined, while the others randomly place brands across. So in a randomly placed, there's nothing wrong, but it does not provide a good experience in the sense that people have to hunt for a store. Now you take a mall which has 200, 250, even 300 stores. Now there you have to locate a store. It becomes extremely taxing and inconvenient. So then you need to support it various things. Then you need more staff. You need other directories and so on and so forth. So all that happens. So that is at design. Similarly, if let's say, we are talking of photo ops and Instagrammable walls. But if those features are not provided or those spaces are not provided in the design itself, then you have to create them. Anything that you create as a retrofit or later on may lead to, people seeing it as an afterthought because it is not seamless with the rest of the design. It seems like plugged in. So that's why design goes into that. Same way as, the corridors, the slopes, the type of flooring, the interiors, placement of elevators, placement of escalators, location of food court, location of certain mall services, like, for example, a mother care room, or a first aid room, or a back park. All these services are part of design, and mostly I would say that even in today's time, when people are designing malls, not all, but some of these things are not looked from a convenience angle. So that is on design and convenience. Okay, now on the touch point part, are we all clear? Do you think I've been clear to everyone saying that what is a touch point? Or would you like me to elaborate a little more on that? Okay, I get some endorsements, which is encouraging for me also as a feedback. Thank you. Okay, now let's go a little that how do you engage customers with communication? That is messaging, whether marketing inside the mall or by something which you may email them or you may send to them. How do you engage the customers with this? Yes, signage is one, but I'm saying the customer communication. Now let's go into more of a marketing field. So how do you think this happens? How do you engage customer via communication, particularly marketing communication? Some ideas, announcement, VM, SMS blast, yes. Okay. Any other thing? So all of what you're saying is absolutely right. Video marketing, signages on floor, yes. WhatsApp messages, correct. Loyalty apps, okay. Customer feedback, yes. But now imagine, like you have assumed that in that catchment, there are stores, there are certain businesses, then there are websites, there is some amount of things which are happening via social media, also from the mall, and also from sometimes government and certain messaging from local bodies. So all this messaging is coming to the person's laptop or mostly the mobile, right? Now, if you have to engage the customer amongst all this messaging, what should be the strategy to be able to create a difference in this communication that you send to the customers? Okay, quickly I want to respond. What messaging should you send amongst all the huge amount of messaging with customers are getting? What type of messaging should you send across to customers so that your message is focused on? personalized, bespoke, absolutely right. Response-based nudging, maybe on poll, yes. Sale information, true. Short and to the point, yes. So here what you are saying is absolutely right, but my suggestion would be that if you have researched your customer, research the people who are coming to your mall and their preferences, then what will happen is that this will lead for you to be able to send what is known as a focused marketing message. So for example, just to pick up now the last few names, let's say Suveen, Praveen, and let's say Kumar and Juvekar, and let's say Segal. Let's say all of you and Sujata. Let's say all of you are visiting the mall and you have different preferences. Some may be common, some may be different. Yes, so, and let's say Vishal. So now if you have 7, 8 of you, already you have certain variations in your preferences. Some of you may have same preferences. Now if you know that this is your preference and you send them a message, will you not perk up? I know the social media, in particular Facebook and all, is a little notorious for this. Moment you mention something on some site, immediately you'll see a Google ad and all that. But I'm not talking of that space. I'm talking of if you have researched your customers and their preferences, then you can send customized messages based on the preferences that the customer has, so that they generate interest and they are engaged with whatever is happening in the mall. So for example, let us say there is a let us say now there is a demo of let's say some bike stunts. Now bike stunts, you have identified that people who are there, they like some form of adventure, they like to cite these demos. Now it is much better to send them those messages because they'll be clued on and they will engage. On the other hand, let us say there are customers who are at a slightly senior age and you send them something about how you have multiple options for the wedding trousseau or buying things for the wedding in the family, then they will be probably much better focused on that, right? Now let us say that there are people who are vegetarian as a diet, right? And if you have, let's say, now got a sudden new range of vegetarian either buying options or vegetarian food options and you send it to them, do you think that with these kind of examples that I'm giving, will this engagement of the customer, involvement of the customer and response from the customer will be better as compared to a general message which says, okay, brand X is selling this new collection 20% off, if you buy 3 then you get this off and all that? Do you think as compared to a message like this, the previous system will be better? Quickly in the chat box, please. Okay, so Vishal is saying yes. Quickly, others. Okay, fine. Yes, so another point on customer engagement and communication is send meaningful communication which is customized and relevant to the particular customer or set of customers. So that can be by their preferences, that can be also by region, and that can also be by some form of a community or the community they belong to, right? Now next concept we'll go quickly is, what is a brand voice? What is a brand voice? Any idea what is a brand voice and how does it help in engaging the customer? Have you heard the term of brand voice? Let's broaden this a bit. So what is a brand voice? The overall ethos is true, but Segal, that is true, expression of brand. So, okay, tell me, have you heard of a brand called Amul? I'm sure you have. So what immediately comes to your mind when you talk of Amul? Which aspect of Amul? The product is one part, but what other comes? No, the Amul girl, yes. So what happens is that for people who are going through things like print media and so on, they will find and look forward to this Amul girl and the caption and the cartoon which comes regularly, which is on whatever is happening around that space. Do you all look forward to that? Whoever is into reading the papers, newspapers or magazines. Now, does that not talk of a brand voice? Because they don't make political statements. They make, yeah, absolutely right, based on current affairs, whatever is the flavor of the season. If somebody won a major sports tournament, if there's some social issue going on, if there's some recognition, if there's some world event, there is some festival, right? So all of them are, you know, in a funny or in a, let's say, humorous manner, they are touching upon various issues, right? So now that is the brand voice. So when you see this, you see that, okay, Amul sells these products and they related to their products essentially to butter most of the time. Okay, sorry. So I'm saying that they, they relate this brand voice as somebody who gives a take on whatever is happening around the environment immediately, while at the same time marketing their product, which in this case of the Amul girl is more of to do with the butter, but they correlate it very well. So the voice here is, yeah, welcome Mangesh. So the voice here is that they are, creating an identity in your mind. So the moment you talk of Amul, two things come, Amul girl, and the second is their visual ad which comes on the TV, etc., which is, Amul Doodh Pita Hai India types, right? So that creates a connect and it creates an image and it establishes a voice of the brand. Like we talked of Tata earlier. So Tata has a certain voice which is reliability and trust. In the case of Amul, it is good product and they are like non-biased and it is for everyone. Similarly, if you see there are examples, for example, like Fevicol, right? There are examples like Asian Paints. Now, Asian Paints, if you see, they have been one of the most successful paint companies because of the way they have engaged their customers and they've made communication relevant. Same thing is with Fevicol. So much so that even the Prime Minister in one of his speeches related to Japan even said, our, what did they say? Fevicol se bhi mazboot hai hamara jod. Can you imagine that? How much that brand is, in getting into, a language at that level. So what I'm saying is this brand voice is that it starts meaning and standing for something in the customer's eyes. And when that brand says something, promotes something, the customer is engaged to the extent of that promotion and that offer and so on. So that's about the brand voice. Let's quickly go. Now, how you know that there are various... Okay, sorry, that was a clip, so it decided to play on its own. Yeah. So I'm saying that there are areas where that in the mall or outside there are, a lot of traffic of people, pedestrians, cars or whatever. So we use those areas to communicate certain things. So we put certain things like hoardings. We put, certain times QR codes inside the malls. So my thing here is that another couple of great things is if you can have large displays, much like a mural or a large painting, we can put where there's a lot of foot traffic, not necessarily only in the mall, but in areas around the mall, even if it has to be on some payment thing, because what you are doing is you are in a way reaching out to the customers instead of the only customers coming to you. So you are in a way going to the customer, much like a social media or much like a press ad or a hoarding. You're going to where the customer actually resides outside the mall. So that is one strategy on this, which helps in engagement. Another way is by way of, linking up to certain events on YouTube or certain such broadcasts where you show. So even if you see the ongoing IPL has some banners and all that. IPL may not be in every mall's budget, but I'm saying the concept is that. that you try to make sure that your brand is featuring and reaching out to the customers in the space that they are in. Is this concept clear with everyone? You want me to elaborate? Quickly some response please, because we are going to be ending this a bit soon, so then we'll have some Q&As. Okay, excellent. Now 2-3 things I will just quickly read out. So one is that there is a very big impact of word of mouth, which I'll call as WORM for short. So do you think WORM or word of mouth is a powerful tool? If yes, then say yes, and if you feel otherwise, then you can say no. Go ahead please, quickly. So I'll just read out some data here. I think you're all in agreement with what I said. And this is not what I'm saying, this is a proven fact, across the globe. So what happens is, it was found that, in fact, that word of mouth, the negative part is that if they have a poor experience, a much higher percentage of people will share that across with people as compared to a positive. So if a negative experience is there, maybe each person may sell 20, 30, 40 people, while if the positive thing is that they may only sell 5-10 people. So you see, the negative thing is spreading much farther and much more than a positive experience. Hence, word of mouth is a very good tool, and it also is an opportunity for engaging the customer positively for your establishment. Why? Because when people tell you, okay, I went to this mall, oh, great space here. I found that, the stores were excellent, mall had excellent ambience, and washrooms were clean. All the store staff were so polite. I had this small problem at the parking, they resolved it immediately for me, and so on and so forth. Now, the moment this thing is discussed with others in the family or in the circle of friends, or for that matter at your workplace, the moment this is discussed, now it is creating a positive image, and it is providing an engagement tool for a future visit to the customer this is shared with, right? As compared to when somebody say, oh, I went to the mall, it took me half an hour to get inside, the floors were very dirty, it was so crowded, the staff was not bothered, and so on. So the moment this is shared, the customer gets disengaged, and they will say, oh, we don't want to go there, let's go somewhere else. My friend was complaining about this mall, this happened, that happened, and all that stuff, right? So the word of mouth is also a very effective tool, not only to market, but also to engage current and future customers. Everybody with me? Okay, last couple of points. One is that understand one thing, that engagement, satisfaction, situation handling, complaint handling, compliment handling, all this is developing certain perceptions. So in a way, customer engagement is about how to provide a positive perception. And I'm not talking of perception as a negative word, I'm saying a positive perception to people where, things are happening as they should on the ground. So the perception creation is what matters, because at times actually nothing is happening. But, our perception is like that. Okay, for example, if you read the press, our perceptions are made on some of the articles which come there. Okay, some things which we are shared on WhatsApp, some perceptions are based on that, right? So, for having an effective engagement, the perceptions have to be managed, and the perceptions must be such that they are positive, right? Another thing is to manage these perceptions and all. One of the very important tools is that one must take proper feedback from all customers. So on the feedback, what I recommend is that every year, if not every 6 months, do a customer profiling study in the catchment. Concentrate on what they are saying, feeling about you, the high street, the competition, and that area, and make sure that, those things are kept in mind for your future engagement and marketing strategies. Second is have a daily have a daily form which is handed out with 10-12 questions, where certain key things that you are concerned with or certain new initiatives that you have done, which are circulated, compiled and shared. Once all these things happen, you will find that you know the customer pulse and how it is changing and what they feel about you and about things, right? So this will start delivering you better knowledge and hence better marketing and better understanding and better engagement tools for the customer. Everyone with me on this? Okay, very quick time. You are mostly, I presume, from operations and marketing, but what do you say when there is a complaint? What does it mean? What is the complaint bad? We all face complaints in the customer domain. Why is it not bad? It's feedback, that's fine, but why is it not bad? Yes. So Mr. Redmi has said it's an opportunity. Absolutely right. It's an opportunity to engage and to satisfy the customer. If that opportunity is properly used, you will have a fan of the establishment, of the mall, of the store, which means that you again go to word of mouth, etc. So I'm saying that related to this is that when you have complaints, whether directly or on social media, or for that matter you have compliments, you must respond speedily to that, and you must have very quick responses, which means that if it's a physical complaint, make sure the relevant people meet the customer, things are listened to, understood, and then redressal is done there and then. Next part is that if you have it online, then don't wait for 2 days, 3 days, 4 days, because in today's world everything is done very, very quickly. So respond to it very quickly and make sure that the problem is closed. And same thing also for suggestions. If there is a suggestion, seriously evaluate. If you can incorporate it, very good, then communicate accordingly. If you can't, then you say that at this stage we have noted your communication not feasible at this time. So we will come back to you at the right time. And then if you do implement, then make sure that you communicate with that customer. So communication, response, and a positive experience even in a complaint situation is extremely important for customer engagement and to build up loyalty, etc., etc. Okay, I come now basically to the last thing that I want to cover. We must have heard of a term known as walking the talk. Have we heard of it? Okay, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, so only 8 people have heard. So the other 35, sorry. Okay, walking the talk, no. So 2 have not heard. Okay, no problem. We'll clarify. So walking the talk is that now when we say something, then we make sure we stand by it. It's a little bit like, you make a promise to somebody and then you don't fulfill it. Now this part is clear? Asher and Redmi. Okay, so what it means is deliver what you promise, absolutely. So what happens is that if what you say, for example, if you say at our mall, you can come and park in a mall within 2 minutes of your coming through our parking gates. But actually it happens that it goes to 10 minutes, 15 minutes, 5 minutes, subject to rush, subject to that. But you are making this statement in a public domain to your customer. So that's like a brand promise in a way, or a brand commitment, and you are going away from that. The moment you go away from that, what happens is that now you have lost the customer in the sense that you said something, we did something else. Sounds a little bit like politics, right? Say something, do something else. So we don't want that obviously in our domains. So what we commit, what we stand for, we make sure that happens. So couple of big words I'll pick up. Don't tell me couple of very big brands across the world where this walking the talk happens, what they stand for, they make sure that it happens like that. Couple of quick brands. Tata, Zara, BMW, H&M. These are good brands, Mercedes, but we are talking of walking the talk, Under Armour. So when we are saying, that means that they are prioritizing the customer and they are committing certain deliverables to the customer, which will happen. Now, all these brands which you mentioned, they are all good brands, and they are definitely working on that. Singapore, and yes, so all these brands are there. But okay, now let's say which may be the top 2-3 brands in the world. Top 2-3 across the globe, which are proven not only, I mean, obviously by me, but others. Amazon is one. I'm not sure about Google. British Airways, I'm not sure. Microsoft, not sure. Coca-Cola, not sure. Okay, so the brands like, for example, have you heard of a company about Disney as a company, not as their retail product, as a company? Yes, Rolls-Royce. Have you all heard of Disney as a company? Okay, now Disney, if you research, you will find that what they stand for, they deliver to their customers. So much so that research for customer requirements and engagement is very fine-tuned, and they invest a lot in that. For example, they found that in their Disney, their Disney worlds, the Disney parks, they found that every 12 to 14 steps is the maximum a customer go to throw something which they have in their hand, which they want to dispose of, to that extent. So I'm saying that commitment, and why that commitment happens, because it is not the flavor of today, it is in their mission statement. That means the company says that we stand for our customers, or whatever they actually put there. Okay, another one in hotels, since I have a hotel background from the past, is Ritz-Carlton. Now, Ritz-Carlton is one of the epitomes of service and commitment to customers. And you try it. Sometime if you stay at a Ritz-Carlton, ask them something out of the way, and you see how they deliver, and you see how they respond. Because that's the DNA, that's the thing which has been set for them by the ownership. So is walking the talk clear now? Especially some of them who were not so clear earlier. I hope I've been able to shed some light. So I will like to take just 2-3 minutes from the retailer's angle. So what do you think would be the retailer's engagement strategies for retailer very quickly? For retailers, that means we are from the mall side and there are retailers around us. What do you think is Red celebrations? Okay, I'll talk of some very quick ones. One engagement is when you start the project. That means the project is not even made, you just bought the land. So the initial design is bounced off retailers, especially anchors and others. So what happens is that then a feedback is taken on the space, size requirement, what kind of stores they can do, and the number of levels and so on. So imagine the level of engagement which is happening while the mall is not even constructed at that stage. Now, will those retailers not be engaged with you for future? Then presentations which are not endless. I've seen some mall presentations which go to retail brands which go into 80 slides, 100 slides. Nobody has that kind of time. So crisp, neat presentations which show what you are promising, what is your location, and what you expect from your retailers, and what your mall is all about, its USP. So crisp, few slides, and a but which delivers everything. So impactful slides. Then things like when people visit under construction malls, you'll find there's no helmet, it's dusty, there's no safe route, there's no water to drink, there's no clear route how to travel up, this and that. So all those things need to be taken care. So when they visit, even during construction, they feel that people are caring about, and they are engaged with me. Somebody suitable meets, offers them water, gives them a cold towel, gives them tea, coffee, escorts them, gives them a helmet, takes care of when they come to the gate, from there till they leave, somebody is with them, all those things. So these are engagement activities. And those people who engage like this, the retailers will value those malls and the people much better as compared to a mall where, typically somebody just sends them to the project manager and says, boss, this guy is coming, just show them the store. It's not that the project will not do a good job, but the experience will be different when somebody actually is doing what I just elaborated. Right? Another thing, small strategy, which is that if you go for a business meeting with a retailer to their office, particularly in apparel and accessories, it is very nice if you wear. So if you go to, for example, let's say a Calvin Klein business head, you're having a meeting with them, and if you wear a CK shirt, okay, or if you go, let us say, to let's say a Hilfiger accessories, for tying up on Hilfiger accessory, and you actually have an accessory which is of Hilfiger. So things like this speak volumes. And what happens is that the moment people see that, there is a different level of engagement and a positive vibe, so to say. Right? Then it is also a very good idea to spend on training and developing the staff, engaging the staff, so that the mall experience and the retail experiences together, which we mentioned. Some of the other tools is to make sure that there are good updates which go to the HO, regional office, area office on various initiatives, activities, awards, recognition, things which are happening in the mall, because they need to engage the people who are of the brand but not in the mall, because in the brand ultimately you only have store managers. So store managers need to be informed, but they also need to keep their corporate office and seniors in the engagement loop. And one small thing, I will end here, there are many points, but one more point which has worked well with me in the past is that when there is a store anniversary, you normally tend to celebrate in the store, right? Yes or no? Okay, so I get some positive responses. Now, if imagine on the store anniversary, the mall head, business head, calls up the particular CEO or the BD guy or both on their store anniversary and said, hey, I thought I'll just call you and wish you, a very happy third store anniversary with us at Star Mall. And it was a pleasure having you on board with us, and I thought I'll just wish you in person. Now, impact of this as compared to just a local celebration in the store goes in a different level altogether, right? So Segal is saying we do this celebration in the mall. So if you now go to the next level where you actually engage with the seniors of the thing, it doesn't matter if they are seniors, but everyone likes a compliment, everyone likes some form of engagement, so that will be good. So this is my part on the retail thing. There are some other points, but these are the major points. So to sum up, should we now sum up? Are you still engaged or are you now getting bored? Okay, so Pina says very engaged, Sunil says engaged, Redmi says engaged, S. Kumar says engaged, Juveka says engaged, Asher says engaged. Good. So I'm happy I've been able to engage you. So now I've already started walking the talk we were talking about, right? So I'm keeping you engaged because you are my customers now in this program. So I'm duty bound and philosophy bound also to make sure that you are engaged as far as this talk goes. Okay, just to sum up, so customer engagement is a marketing strategy. It sets other strategies apart because it deals with the people and the people who are dealing with the people. So the customers and the mall staff or the store staff, we are making sure that it's a 360-degree experience and the touch points are all positive. Then let's say, have customized offerings, has customized mailers, have customized feedback being provided. You could maybe set in some goals on this so that you monitor the engagement levels and the meaningful targets that you have set and the engagement levels you have set. Must understand the customer. It's all about managing the perception positively by using engagement as a tool and as a transparent and effective tool. Have a voice of the brand and have a brand promise which is in keeping with what you can offer and which you actually offer by walking that talk. Meet customers where they are, that means in spaces where they are, whether it's on the road, in their home, on the pedestrian walkways, at certain key locations, in the mall also. And that word of mouth is a very important tool to keep customers engaged and to have more and more customers coming. And from the retailer side, as we said, engage customers from project stage, during the fit out and site visit stage, as well as post operations and on anniversaries and such like. So that's how I would like to sum up. Now I would like to throw the chat box open for questions.
So I think it would not be wrong on my part if I call you Professor Manoj. It was really
That's the hat I was wearing today.
A real interactive session. You made it interactive through webinar chat, and I'm confident that all my participants they must have enjoyed it, and their involvement level, their engagement levels was really very high. Let's see if still I'll ask participants, if you have something in your mind, it's an opportunity for you. Just post your questions and Professor Manoj will answer those questions. They'll clarify if something is there. See, we rarely come across such a seasoned and experienced person. It's a great opportunity. So please do that.
Thank you. So the chat box is open for questions.
Yeah.
Okay, so we have a raised hand from Juvika.
Okay.
So you'll have to unmute, I think, if that's possible. I'm trying that. Juvika, are you able to unmute? Okay, I'll go to Sunil. So I've given the permission. Sunil, are you able to unmute?
Yes.
No, I'm talking of Suvini Duvedi, sorry.
Okay.
Yeah. So Sunil, are you able to do it? Otherwise, ask in the chat box.
Yes, good afternoon, sir. Hello.
Yeah. Hello, Sunil.
Yeah, am I audible?
Yeah, very much.
Yeah, okay. So, sir, just a small question. Like, at times we try to make customer very engaged, but, we go overboard and, the engagement becomes a little bit boring for the customer. So, how to avoid these type of situations?
So, see, what happens is now, I don't know if you're referring to a particular situation. Because if you are engaging the customer, it can never be good.
No, not particular situation. Like, at times on weekend activities, like anchors are there, like, they try to do some announcement and customer, they try to approach customer to ask some questions, then they just move away and they are like, so at times we have observed such situation. So though they put their full efforts of engaging them, like at times you've seen that customer reacting to it in a very different way. So
I understand. Yeah. So Sunil, what happens is that is not engagement, that is solicitation. So in engagement is that when the customer comes to you or by way of communication, you make sure you give a positive response and a focused response. And engagement activity can be if you have an interactive activity, for example, in the sense that let's say you have some performance going on in the event space and you ask the customers also to participate. Now that is an engagement activity. But if you try to catch somebody by the hand, say you come, then it doesn't become engagement, it becomes like, use of some kind of intimidation. Right? Okay,
Yes.
next question. Okay. Juvekar, you can unmute if you have a question. Yes. Any questions, Juvekar? It's unmuted. I can't hear you, but. Okay, I'll go to the next while he comes. So, Segal from, again from Lakeshore. So, yes, Segal. You have to unmute. Huh? Segal, you have to unmute. Yeah.
I don't have any question.
Oh, okay, so you raised your hand, so I thought, okay, no problem. So then we have Sachin Ahir, Phoenix Mills. So Sachin, any questions, please?
No, sir.
Okay, great. Okay, so I'll just request everyone to mute themselves, and we have one from Asher which says, how do we do customer profiling with feedbacks collected? So the way to do customer profiling is that you have to have a third-party agency with as large a customer base as you can afford, where you ask pointed questions. Some can be demographic in nature, but whatever your concerns are or whatever you want to gain insights into, you can,
हो इकडे आहे ना हो सिक्युरिटी हे पहिले इंजिनिअरिंगची सांगितली
Okay, so I muted him. Yeah. So, Asher, does that answer your question? Okay, thank you. So, if that's all, then okay. So, I have just posted my email ID. Should you want a question offline, you can just mail me. I will try to respond as quick as possible. So I also have to walk the talk and be quick in my response, right? Speedy response is the key. So that's it from my side. If you can make a note of the email, and then in case you have, you can connect offline. Thank you.
So now we are concluding today's workshop. And thanks, Manoj, for sharing your thoughts and insights. And I hope all my participants must have enjoyed it. It's a great learning for them. So with this, we conclude our today's session. Thank you, everyone.
Yeah, so before we say goodbye, I would like to thank everyone who attended and for giving me the opportunity to be able to share some of my experiences and certain things on customer engagement. Last but not the least, I would like to thank Anjeev, Sunil, and the Sachin and others from the SCAI team that they were able to conduct this wonderfully, and were actually for inviting me to share my thoughts like this. It's always a pleasure to connect with SCAI as always, and also with all my fellow colleagues from the mall industry. It was a pleasure. Thank you so much.